me, we can see the Caddy. So I have made a small amount of progress on the Caddy. We're not anywhere near being ready to start it or run it or drive it or anything like that. But we've made a big improvement on the interior. What I've also started doing now is I've started, I don't know if you can see it, I've started marking down any bits of damage that are on the body that need attention. We've got loads of little dents, which is nothing major. The biggest thing is we've got a crease along here. Now I'm not very good with metalwork and dents, so this I might get someone else in to do it, but little bits where there's like, you know, imperfections, we can give that a flat down, give that a flat, just to try and take the worst off of some of these dents. Now it's not major. A lot of the stuff on the van is pretty simple. We'll have the body of the van looking fairly well. Same again with up here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and one down there. So we got, ideally both sides are going to need quite a bit of primer. We've got a little bit of rust down the bottom there that needs to be dealt with, and a lot of rust on the lower part of the sliding door panel, which is a little bit worrying. And what I've done is I've started stripping everything off of the sides to get ready to paint the door shuts. So down here is the worst part. You can see how bad it is. So I'm gonna have to start flattening some of this down by hand just to get rid of all the flaky paint and stuff. And yeah, I'm not really sure how well this is gonna come out. But yeah, and then I'm gonna get the door shuts painted. I'll get the inside of all the body panels painted, then have everything fitted up. And then from there, we can get the whole outside painted. In terms of how far off completion are we still need to sort out the aftermarket management, so the ECU setup, whatever it is we're going to use. The fuel tank still needs to be made, and then the exhaust. Oh, the exhaust situation. So I've still got the track slags downpipe upstairs. I have changed the brake servo, which I've been told it might make a slight amount of difference, because I mean 10 mil if that, and if it does work I'll be over the moon, but if it doesn't, back to square one, and maybe it looks like we'll be cutting up an absolutely perfect track slags downpipe. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start prepping some of this now. I've bought a block and I've got some sandpaper and stuff, and yeah, we'll get going. This van's been out here for quite a while. I did make a start on it earlier this year, cleaned up a load of stuff. The fuel tank's done for this. This is a 2 litre TFSI running a DSG gearbox. It's locked, but still need load of interior bits in there. I mean, we've got a dash. Ideally we need some dark door cards, some seats. I've got some seats upstairs, center console. But this is a van that, if I'm completely honest, I can't be bothered to finish. I really can't. So I might pull the engine out and put that in something else. Who knows? I could even forge it while it's sat there actually and put it in the Golf. But that's a story for another day. Well, I'm absolutely covered in dust now. I can't actually remember the last time I actually prepped a car. But we've got quite a bit round this. There's a few imperfections, like up here. I don't know if that was actually a dent. I think that could just be the way that the panel is and when it's pressed together and stuff. Obviously everything central and on the creases are dents. There's that one there, which I think may need to be panel beaten. It's going to have a crease. It's going to have a crease either side, and then the actual dent. We've got that down here, and then this down here is probably the one that I underestimated the most. It looks like it's been caught on that edge. It's pushed it in, so we'll get that either filleted or pimpled at some point. Haven't started on this side yet, but this side is similar stuff again. Nothing major. Just a couple little bits. And then same again down here. This is going to have some creases, so that's going to need a bit of panel beating. And same there, that's got a little crease there. This is the bad stuff that needs the attention. ideally, I know the interior needs finishing, so we've got quite a lot going on in here. Oh, I forgot, we've got a little bit round the windscreen to do. It's got a couple tiny little bits of rust that have appeared here, and there. So screen's going to have to come out for that, and we're going to have to treat that and take that back to metal. But the main thing is we've made progress. We've started on it, and I forgot how much of a, what's the word, involved job bodywork is. So I done 12 years in a body shop. I think overall 12 years body shop experience, and I believe 10 years of that was it 10 years? I can't even remember, but I think it's about 10 years of that is with a company called Grove Autos, who are now located round the corner from me. So it used to be in Beckenham. Right, so I have a little bit of an update for you guys. We have some of the Caddy prepped. So if we look in the background over this shoulder, I'll show you a little bit of what's been done so far. We've got stopper in the little bits that need stopper. These bigger ones need filler. So all to do. I've started prepping all the door shuts. I'm waiting on some rust treatment for this because this is pretty bad. Depending on, ideally I really don't want to have to cut this out and then weld a new piece in. But at the same time, I don't want to go through all this effort and then for this to come back in the future and end up with a madness. However, this has been sat inside for a very long time, out of the rain, whatever. As long as this is treated correctly and it is prepped correctly and dealt with, then technically this shouldn't come back. It shouldn't, but never say never. So yeah, we've got a load of filler and bodywork hoodies there. I've got another block slightly bigger than the block that I used initially. I know it's not a massive block. Technically, when you're dealing with big dent work, you should be using a much wider block as opposed to this little block, which that should be fine for something of that size, I guess. We've got some 1K filler, which is like, this is stopper, this is for the small chips and stuff like that. We have got some dolphin glaze, which will be for the more shallow, smaller dents, and then we've got the proper body filler for the deeper dents that may sink. Ideally, like I said before, I want to try and get the dents as good as I can before we fill them, but I mean, to be fair, let's be real, it's probably too late anyway. I'm thinking about the roof. I feel like what I may do is, because I don't really want to tackle the dents on here and it's going to be hard to get them perfect, I'm going to have a look into roof rails and see if the roof rails cover it. If not, then maybe a roof rack like Peter's van. Maybe a roof rack like that will be good. So yeah, that. So door shuts, rear door shuts, get all the inside and stuff. I basically want everything prepped beforehand and ready to prime and stuff, and then we're going to remove this windscreen so I can do these few bits of rust that are down here. So if you look there, rust that's starting to bubble up, and up there, rust that's starting to bubble up. So ideally we need to get the screen out anyway. It's going to go for a heated screen, so we're going to do these bits as well. So originally I got some Hammerite, what I thought was coup rust, which is this stuff. This is a rust converter, transforms rust to a stable surface in 15 minutes. I actually ordered Hammerite rust remover gel. So this is to get rid of like surface rust or something like that, I don't know. But that was the wrong thing that I bought. So that is not needed. And this is the stuff that I actually needed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this horrendous bit of rust a bit of this treatment with a paintbrush. Gonna make sure I get in there properly, and there are a few bits further in that I need to do also, and another piece on the other side. So anywhere I can see little bits of rust, gonna get some treatment. Gotta wait 15 minutes for it. It's a water-based product. Keep out of reach of children. I believe I'm adult enough to use this. So I would definitely say I've mixed up too much filler, but too much is better than not enough. So we've got now the first coat of filler on. I say first coat. I don't know whether I'm going to need a second coat on some of these. Some of them will need, whether it's got low spots and stuff on there. That one there needs a bit of attention, either edge, this side and that side, to hit the low spots down. That turned nice and black on the first. You can actually see it working. It shouldn't be running, so yeah, don't know what's going on there. So yeah, now that I've got second coat of rust treatment on, I've got this side filled up, most of it anyway, apart from two, one on the wheel arch at the back and one on the very rear quarter. Second side of the van, oh, that's the second side of the van. I've just realised I didn't mark something up that I should have. Second side of the van skimmed with filler, first skim. Some of it is probably thicker than needed to be, which is not ideal, but you know, at least we can block it down. So ideally when you're doing sides of vans, you want as big a block as possible. You don't really want a little block. Oh, that's all still wet. Right, maybe I'll wait for that filler to dry off a little bit before trying to get rid of that edge, and then yeah, the filler can be rubbed down. If it's ready to prime, then those bits can be primed. I've still got to do this side on the driver's side, the lower rear quarter and back of the rear wheel arch. There are loads of little door dinks that I need to do. There was one there, that's fairly straightforward, and we've got a couple of chips and stuff, and then here, fairly big one. I think what I might do with this, I might put a skim of filler from here to here, flat it all down, make sure we get that as best as possible, and then obviously this. It looks so bad, man. It really does look so bad. And ideally, like I said, I would have loved to cut it off and replace the panel, that piece. But you know what? I'm not scared of a lot of work, but look at how far I've come. But ideally, yeah, it looks really bad, but I feel it's salvageable still. I do feel that it's still salvageable. So yeah, but anyway, so that's that. We've got skimmer filler either side. Rust treatment has been started, and when I get another chance, maybe at some point tomorrow, I can start prepping and flatten off the filler, and then we can get some bits ready for primer. I don't think there's a great deal. It's not crazy on the body. I know some of one of the doors has got a bit of filler. I know the bumpers need attention, but it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? I just want this van to come out as good as possible. But yeah, we're getting there, man. We are getting there. I mean, just look at it. Somebody come and look at this.
What's going on, Juco?